Hey guys, what's up? So just gonna go over a couple cool books I have. You might have seen some before, but I definitely added new stuff to it. This is The Secret Destiny of America by Manly P. Hall, super famous esotericist, occultist. But he also knows Masonic stuff because he's a Mason, like Bacon and Shakespeare. He has a whole essay on that. But this really shows how America kind of is intentionally prophesied and not like a Christian nation or whatever. All the major cities correspond to like geometric codes and stuff like that. And yes, there's pentagrams in DC, and it goes into that. Thus Spake Zarathustra. It's just a new edition I got. I haven't read it in 14 years, so I'm very excited to be finishing that again. Super important. Got this one just recently, Christian Astrology. Yeah, I know. By William Lilly. This is like the 1600s text. Okay, so it's awesome. I just love the font. I love the 1600 type stuff. Yeah, 800 pages. It's all 3 volumes. Definitely worth a pretty penny for a book. But yeah, there he is right there. Kind of cool. Really, that's like one for historical reference. Another good old one is The Devil's Pulpit by Robert Taylor. I don't agree with everything he says, but it's all about astrotheology and how the signs and the planets and all that stuff correspond to biblical stuff. This is a really important text in the history of astrotheology, even if you don't agree with his ideas. One of the newer astrotheological books, The Ancient Worldwide System, Star Myths of the World, Volume 1. This one goes into a lot of different cultures, showing how the constellations are represented in different cultures in different ways, but they're still the same constellations, which is very important. The other volume he has is one specifically about the Bible, which we've gone into, of course, but this first thick one, it's all about all cultures. David Warner Matheson, and he has a YouTube channel. Pretty cool too. On that same note, The Gospel and the Zodiac, super important book by Bill Darlison. Completely explains how the entire book of Mark, which was written before Matthew, by the way, it's the oldest of the Gospels. The entire book of Mark is astrological, like in order. It starts with Aries, has all these Aries archetypes, then Taurus, then Gemini. Jesus says, go 2 by 2 to spread the gospel. And Gemini's the twins, and they're known to gossip. Okay, and stuff like that. When it was Cancer, Jesus fed the people, and Cancer is about nurturing. Okay, when it was Leo, Jesus was talking about having pride and ego, which is a problem with Leo. Virgo section talks about being a servant. Libra section talks about the law and scales, and that's what Libra is. Scorpio talks about death, and that's when Judas kisses him, the kiss of death. I mean, it just goes on and on. I'll keep going. Aquarius, of course, is one book in Mark 14:13, which is pi backwards. Jesus says, go follow the man bearing a pitcher of water, during the section of Aquarius in the book. And of course, Pisces is about death and resurrection. Obviously, that's the end. And the thing is, oh, it's a key. Pisces color is purple. Okay, so they put Jesus in a purple robe. If you want to get historical, Battle for Christmas by Stephen Nissenbaum, super important. Shows the complete history of Christmas and how it evolved and how it wasn't even really a thing. Like even 100 years ago, it wasn't as popular as we assume it is. Like, oh, in the old days and all that stuff. No, it's not the old days. It's new. We just think it's like Charles Dickens. The people didn't celebrate Christmas as much as Christmas Carol stories make you want to think. Okay, on a different note, Hidden Messages in the Water, super important book by Masaru Emoto. People look at the cup of water, and whatever they're thinking, like if it's positive, it'll be a beautiful design like this. Okay? But if it's negative, it'll be something like kind of crappy looking, which I'm trying to find. Heavy metal music is like that, but then classical is like that, but that's obvious. But like as far as actual words go, like you fool looks really negative in English and Japanese, and I want to kill you looks negative and all that stuff. Anyway, so our minds affect water because our bodies are water, but it's our consciousness, our ESP, our sixth sense that's affecting these water crystals. Okay, big deal. Immanuel Velikovsky, of course, Worlds in Collision, as well as Earth in Upheaval. Super important texts that show the real history of our solar system that NASA and scientists hate, because if they admit they're wrong, they lose their funding. 2 great Bonnie Gaunt books about gematria. This one, oh my God, Jesus Christ and the number of his name, shows 888, 3168 all throughout everything in the Bible and in the universe. And this one's mostly about the pyramids and Stonehenge, very similar to the Code, but totally different. Bonnie Gaunt, super underrated gematria person. On that same note, Yvonne Panin's Numerics in Scripture, super important book as well. A lot of different codes that he's found throughout his time of study. Good stuff. And speaking of codes, the Mayan Prophecies by Maurice Cotterill. Super, super interesting, important, and the implications just are amazing. It shows how the 1366-560 holy number that the Mayans worshipped and studied a lot actually corresponds exactly to sunspot cycles. And that's why they knew that number, and that's why it also corresponds to their calendars. Yeah, they have so many calendars. Okay, the 2012 was just the long count calendar. There's bigger ones than that, and there's obviously smaller ones than that. But yeah, super important. And he goes into like the Pakal Votan mask. If you like mirror it, and interlace it, it's like different images and of different stuff and stuff. And here's a good quick one: Shakespeare and Christian Doctrine. It's kind of cool. I mean, we all know the truth at this point. Francis Bacon was Shakespeare, and many other people contributed. So yeah, he knew the church and stuff. So, but he's much more open-minded. Lastly, Conversations with Nietzsche. This is a super uber rare. That's an appropriate word. Ubermensch. Uber rare book. That, I mean, it's not rare that it's like hard to find. It's just no one knows about it. These are the people who actually chilled with Nietzsche. Like, if you have some kind of weird qualms with him and you read this is so informative. And it even talks about, one of his friends says he was scared like of a little lightning cloud. What we've been talking about forever, how he, in his personal letters, he feared the telekinetic effect of lightning and that he would be hit because of the energy. And of course, Jupiter rules Pisces. Zeus rules psychic abilities. You're going to have some lightning powers. Just like me. So yeah, this one is a really cool one that kind of shows how more gentle he was in person versus his intense writings. Gee, kind of like my videos. Just because the topics are intense doesn't mean the person always is. Just no one else has said it yet. Anyway, just some fun books. It's like 100 degrees in Texas right now, so I'm dying. Thank you.